to talk about the infrastructure that holds our reality together. If you try to log into ChatGPT or check on X or maybe catch a train on NJ Transit on Tuesday morning, you probably saw a 404 error or maybe just a spinning wheel of death. That's because Cloudflare had a massive global outage. Now, if you aren't in the industry, you might ask, what is Cloudflare? Cloudflare is the duct tape of the internet. It sits in front of millions of websites, about 20% of the entire web, and it acts as a shield and a distinct accelerator. It stops distributed denial of service attacks and it caches content so it loads faster. But here is the problem with the duct tape. When it rips, everything falls apart. Reports confirm this outage affected their Access Zero Trust platform. And this is deeply ironic and honestly a little painful for me as a security professional. We spend all day preaching a concept called zero trust. The old way of security was castle and moat. You had a firewall, the moat. Inside the firewall, everyone was trusted. Outside, everyone was untrusted. But that failed because once a hacker got across the moat, they could roam the castle freely. So we moved to zero trust. Never trust. Always verify. The idea is that you don't use a VPN. You use a service like Cloudflare Access every time you try to open a file or load a web page. The system checks your ID. It verifies you are who you say you are. It is a great system in theory. But here is the trust paradox. To implement zero trust, you have to place absolute blind trust in the vendor providing it. When Cloudflare goes down, you don't just lose your public website. You lose your internal tools. Imagine this. You are a developer. You need to push code to fix a bug. You can't because the authentication server is down. You are an HR manager. You need to access payroll. You can't. The digital doors to your own office are locked. And Cloudflare has the only key. It reminds me of the Death Star in Star Wars. An incredible technological terror capable of ruling the entire galaxy. The ultimate power in the universe. But it had one thermal exhaust port. One central point of failure. And if you hit that, the whole thing blows up. We have centralized so much of the internet's infrastructure into 3 or 4 companies. Cloudflare, AWS, Microsoft, Google, that a single configuration error, a single bad line of code pushed by an engineer on Tuesday morning acts like a Luke Skywalker proton torpedo. This outage forces a hard conversation for my customers this week. It forces us to ask, what is your break glass plan? We are so obsessed with efficiency that we have sacrificed resilience. If the cloud evaporates, do you have a physical backup key? Can you route traffic around the failure? or are you just stuck outside in the rain waiting for the servers to reboot?